So let's talk about the pre-production process that went into making the Nike film. Honestly speaking, there were so many things that went by. There were so many things that happened during the pre-production process. Some were very good, some were not so good news that I was not expecting to hear. But the whole pre-production process that went through in making this film, honestly, everything was just amazing. I thank God that at least when I was working into this project, I had some experience coming from last year when I made the Calvin Klein spec commercial. So I was able to correct the mistake that I made last year. So pre-production for this project was very, very, very easy. In the beginning, when I came up with the concept, when I came up with the idea, one of the first people that I reached out to was my producer. His name is Victor. I talked to him about the project that I had in mind. I talked to him about certain things that I was planning. The plan was actually to shoot 2 commercials in the same day. Thank God we didn't do it. We were going to do the fashion film, and then we were going to do an Uber Specs commercial. So I was planning on doing everything on the same day. Thank God we didn't do it because it would have been a mess. Getting the location was actually not even that hard because I have someone that I've worked with so many times. His name is Kelvin. He owns properties. So he owns properties that he rents out and everything. So I remember when I reached out to Victor, I also reached out to Kevin. Kevin was actually the first person that I actually talked to. I remember I didn't even have my script ready. I didn't have my actors. I didn't have so many things ready, but I knew my location. I already booked my location and stuff. I think I booked my location probably 2 months prior to shooting or something like that. Initially, there were so many cheaper options, especially when it came to location, right? There were so many cheaper options that Kevin was willing to offer me. But the problem was those locations were a little bit further away from the city, right? Those locations were very further away from the city. And I knew that I was going to ask people to work for free. And most filmmakers that I know that live in Toronto, they don't drive, right? So if let's say you are messaging people and then you are like, hey, I have a passion project coming up, but do you want to come to Cambridge to come shoot the passion project? Like transportation was going to be a thing that I was thinking of because I was like, how are they going to get on set if I'm shooting a project in Cambridge or if I'm shooting a project in Caledon? And those that live in Ontario, they understand these locations that I'm talking about. So we were able to agree on one location, which was going to happen in Toronto, North York. So we agreed on it, and then I was able to secure the place. I booked the place. I booked it for Friday to Saturday. So we booked it for the weekend. We had access to the place from Friday to Saturday, and then we were supposed to leave the place on Sunday morning around 11 o'clock. I was able to book it. Kevin helped at book it, and then whilst we had the location down, then it was left with like trying to get certain people on board. So one of the first people that I had to message for to be on the crew was Miles. Miles is my gaffer. Miles was available, which was beautiful, which was awesome. So I knew that was said. Then it came to getting my camera team ready. I was working with Vani. Vani and I were working on a project, I think 2 months before we shot this project. And I was like, hey Vani, I know you like to just be a gaffer on project if it's not your project and if you're not deep in, but right now I would love for you to be my first AC. Is that going to be something that you down for it? And as always, Vani's one of the most amazing people that I've gotten to closely work with over time. And she's like, bro, what are you talking about? Sign me up. And Vani too, I was able to get Vani to be my first AC. And then I reached out to Justin. Justin too was like, hey brother, I would love to be your first AC. But I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, big man, but the first AC position is already taken. So I was DP, Vani was my first AC. Justin, big man, love this guy to death. He was my second AC. Then I had Miles in as my gaffer. There was another great Prudence. Unfortunately, Prudence weren't able to make it for the shoot day. So Prudence was going to be our grape, but I was able to have another friend of mine, someone who is slowly also learning the industry and stuff. His name is Obed. And Obed was able to come in as our kind of like, initially it was supposed to be a swing, but he ended up being a grip. And that was how I was able to get my camera team ready. I had all these amazing people that I've already worked with. So it was not like we were now meeting each other. We worked with people. So getting the crew, we took some time. I remember when I got my camera crew ready, that was when I started to get, I reached out to Joalisa. sent her a message that I wanted her to be my first AD for me, because I've worked with Jolisa so many times. Like at this point, I think probably 5 times or something. So there's that rapport, and I knew that there's that rapport in creativity, and then there's that understanding, so it will be easy to work with Jolisa. So I was able to also bring Jolisa on board. She was so happy to be on board. So at the end of the day, when everything was coming closer, we were looking at a crew of almost 15 people. Yeah, because it was me, my first CC second, my guy Alpha Grape. I had my first AD, second AD, my producer, my stylist, 2 BTS people, my sound guy, and my script supervisor, who was also great. Like, we were able to get all of these people to come on board on this project. And I think one of the biggest issues that we started facing that probably happened the week leading to the shoot day. I think the week leading to the shoot day, I remember the Wednesday. So we did the shoot on a Saturday. So the Wednesday to the shoot date, one of my actors actually pulled out on the Wednesday, right? They sent me a message that they booked a last minute TV show, so they wouldn't be able to make it. So I had to quickly find someone to replace him immediately. And luckily for me, Reed, who is also someone that I've worked with several times, Reed was able to step in. So I had Reed. That was on the Wednesday. And the stylist the designer that I was supposed to work with on this project, about a few days leading to the day to do the shoot, realized that there were certain things that were not ready, and then it will not be ready in time for the shoot, which also led us to pivot everything for this whole shoot. Like, it made us pivot everything for this whole shoot. That's why it ended up being a Nike film. Like, the Nike idea didn't happen till 24 hours leading to the shoot date, right? Because initially it was supposed to be something like I'd made the script, I'd made the short list, I'd made everything that was gonna happen. But then I think the Thursday leading to the shoot day, we realized that, okay, maybe we need to change certain things. And then that idea had to, the person I was supposed to work with, we have to shift it to another date. So I have to quickly go figure out how I was going to get the outfits for the shoot. And it was a mess because 24 hours leading to a shoot date, I have locations booked, I have crew members clear out their schedule, actors booked, everything booked, all that. And then this is supposed to be a fashion film, but here is it where we don't have the clothes to do this shoot. So my stylist Richie and I, we immediately that Friday, the Friday leading to the shoot day, we had to immediately go to Toronto Premium Mall, and then go to the Nike shop and go do some shopping. It was a cost that I didn't plan for, and then that's one of the things that happens. Like, I'm probably going to do a financial breakdown of everything that I spent on this project. I tried reaching out to some local small business fashion houses that are there that we could collaborate, but most of them were like, it's kind of last minute, because reaching out to someone 24 hours before your shoot date to that, hey, I'm doing this big project and I need some outfits, so can you help us and stuff. Some of them wanted to help, but some of them too, it was kind of like too close, because it was too close, 24 hours. And I don't fault them or anything, because I mean, if I was in that position, I don't think I would have been able to do it. So my stylist and I was like, you know what? Let's not put people in uncomfortable situations. Let's not put people in positions where they're going to struggle, right? Where it's going to be hard for them to say no, or we have to figure out how we're going to get the outfits and stuff. So we just decided that we are just going to go to Nike shop and make the shoot be about Nike. That was how we were able to come up with the whole the Nike film. It was definitely going to be a fashion film, but it was not going to be a Nike fashion film, right? That idea happened 24 hours to the shoot date. We went to Nike. At that time, we already knew our actors. We had everything in mind, and we were able to go in and get the outfits. I knew the measurements of the actors and everything. We got all the outfits in their right sizes, planned everything, and get everything going. Then, almost around 6 p.m., leading to the Saturday morning we were going to do the shoot, one of my female actors pulls up on me. They have an emergency for the shoot, right? They had an emergency that they had to also leave town. And then that was also going to be a problem for me, because here it is where we have gone outside, we have gone to Nike shop, we've bought clothes, where the clothes were to fit each person. So I can't also bring in a new actor 24 hours. Even if I could find someone to come in within 12 hours of the shoot to get it done, the problem was the outfit even going to suit them, right? Were they going to fit into the outfit? So that also changed everything for us. It made everything like the way that we were supposed to go. It just kind of like turned everything around, and then it turned all my script around, right? It made everything kind of like bad. I started feeling the pressure, but I was like, you know what? The plan was to do 6 actors, and then if one is pulling out, at least I still have my 5 to go. And I had to go with the 5. So even we bought outfits for that person, for the 6th actor, that we couldn't use, and I wasn't able to also find someone. And I don't like putting people in uncomfortable situations, right? So we just had to go without them. And it was just these kind of things that happened the day before the shoot, right? We had actors, I had 2 actors pulled out, and I was able to only find 1 replacement. The initial plan for the shoot, we had to change it. We had to change the name for the shoot. We had to change so many stuff that was to be done before the shoot, right? So these are some of the things that sometimes like you don't expect, but they happen, right? So being able to do your pre-production, it kind of really helps a lot. I'm not going to lie, so that you will be able to kind of figure certain things out. One thing that I think this project, I don't know, for some reason, when even things were going bad, the days before the shoot, the pre-production, when things were going bad, where I was not maybe getting feedbacks that I wanted, or getting a yes or no when I wanted, when it was people were canceling, or maybe staff that were supposed to be ready at a certain times were not ready. One thing that I don't know, maybe if it is growth, or maybe it is maturity, or maybe it's because now I've gotten some experience in the industry, I realized that I was not shaking, right? I knew things were going down. I knew certain things were not going as planned, but I was not panicking. I was like, okay, I know that it's gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right, and we have it under control, and then everything's gonna be all right. So Kwame, don't stress. Don't worry too much. You have it all figured out. So these were some of the things that happened. Literally the 3 months leading to shooting this project. We've been planning this. I think it was around February. Right, we've been planning this around February. I had the idea even last year that I wanted to shoot something for the World Cup that was going to come on, but being able to put everything together, because I remember I had to even go to Costco, right, and go buy the crafts and stuff, because as much as I was the director and then the DP for this project, I was also kind of like the executive producer for this project. Yes, we had our official producer, but there were certain things that I had to do myself, which was going to Costco, right? I remember I had to go to Costco to go buy the crowd, get the drinks, get water, everything that people were going to need for the shoot. I did tons of meeting with my actual producer, Victor, and we came up with certain things that we were going to need for the shoot, right? So we're like, okay, cool. We need to make sure that we have drinks. We need to make sure we have water. We need to make sure we have snacks, Kit Kats, fruit, apples, like clementine. So many things should be on set for people to have a good time, right? One thing that I've realized, especially when people are coming to be on the projects, and if they are not getting paid, especially when they are not getting paid, one thing that you need to be able to do the most is making sure that there is a lot of food there for people to eat, right? You need to have food over there. Maybe it's the African in me, just making sure that there is food for people to eat is just one of the greatest things that you could do. So I spent a lot of money. It was not like breaking the bank or anything. I did spend a lot of money trying to get everything together. We spent a lot of money on craft. I also had to even message a very good friend of mine, Laverage. Thank you. I told her about my project that I was making and the number of people that were going to be on this project. And I asked her if she could make the lunch for us. So she too came through for us. Laverage made the lunch for us. She made a fantastic Ghanaian jollof with some chicken and all of that. And that was how I was able to come up with everything from A to Z, like getting lunch, going to get stuff from Costco, having to go to Nike shop, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of meetings. We had a lot of meetings. I had a lot of meetings with my producer. I had meetings with my guy from Miles, where we had to figure certain things out. I remember We had to figure out the lighting and stuff. So then some of the things I would have loved to do was maybe do a location scouting with Miles, but it was an Airbnb that we booked, so we couldn't go to the location. So every lighting plan and every lighting diagram that we came up with, we had to just look at it from the pictures that we saw on the internet from the Airbnb, right? So at least we were still able to do it. Miles and I were able to figure out the lighting stuff that we were going to need. And that was one really good thing. Like we were able to figure out the lighting, the stuff that Miles was going to bring, and then the stuff that I was going to bring. We didn't really rent out any gear, right? I came with some of the gear and some of the lighting stuff to Miles came up with it. And that's one of the things that I really love working with Miles, is the fact that we can collaborate together, and maybe some of the things that he's not having, I will have, and some of the things that I may not have, he's having, and we can be able to kind of like pool resources together and get it done. So we didn't really rent gear, right? I had the lens. The lens that we shot with was my own lens. So all those were like really good. We had good productions. We figured out the food, we figured out all certain things, and that was how the whole pre-production, like this is from the production point of view. That was how the whole thing was able to come through, how we were able to get everything together, get everyone on board. And honestly speaking, I wouldn't change anything. The whole project, everything just went really good. There were so many like little mistakes that I made. Some of the mistakes that we made, it was not really our fault. It was just kind of like we had to pivot and stuff. But it is what it is. One of the things that especially my stylist was really bothered about was we had 24 hours to kind of like pull the looks together, and he really wished he had more time. If let's say we had decided that we were going to go with a Nike commercial, like he really wished we had more time to be able to kind of like plan it, but he was still very happy with the 24 hours, pulling all the looks together within 24 hours. And that's why sometimes I love the people that I work with, because I know that even if it comes to it, they will always deliver. Richie was able to deliver for us for 24 hours. He had 24 hours to get all the looks together, and he was able to do it. That was on the styling side. Jolisa and I, the Friday before the shoot, that was where we had to make the schedule and stuff. We were able to do all that. My producer too and I were talking back and forth, trying to make sure that we get everything that was needed, trying to make sure that everything that was wanted, trying to make sure that things that needed to be done was also done correctly. My camera team too, we've already had meetings. I've already talked to them. We knew certain things that we would need and certain things that we would not need, and then all that. They were all aware of stuff. I remember Vani wanted to do like a camera prep the Friday, right? But I told them that, you know what, I got you covered, because the Friday there was so many things going on. Of course, I had to go do groceries. I had to go get some stuff, so we couldn't really do camera prep. So these are kind of like the small little things that I wish we could do, like do a camera prep, do a location scouting, do all that. But even though we were not able to do that, we were still able to get it done. And that's why sometimes it's good to hire, to work with professionals, because it's not a fun place to put people at where they have to figure certain things out on the day of the shoot. But at least I knew that I could do the camera prep myself, and I didn't want to bother people to come to my house or something for us to do the camera prep. So I already did the camera prep myself, and I prepped everything. So on the day of the shoot, it made everything easier for us, right? So this was just the pre-production that went into this shoot. Certain things that we had to take care of, certain things that we had to do, certain things that we had to go by. And this was how we were able to come about in getting the crew and then getting this production made. So everything that I've really talked about was from maybe the 3 months that we were prepping to the Friday that was leading to the day of the shoot. And I can't wait to talk about what actually happened on the day of the shoot. So this is Kwame logging out, and guys, just keep rolling, keep shooting, keep making mistakes, and let's all learn. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.